Hi, this is Chance Happening, sitting here with Joshua Esteves, who is running for District 5, Modesto City Council, and this is On Watch. Now, you're a proponent of the living wage, and I was just wondering, what would you say to the opponents of the living wage who try and counter it with saying that, unemployment's going to increase because businesses have to shell out that extra money, prices of goods are going to go up, that usual kind of argument against it?
Well, it's really to look at here in our community and say that minimum wage is a living wage. It's really ridiculous if you calculate how much somebody can make on 40-hour work week at minimum wage, and the cost of rent, the cost of food, and the cost is already rising. And so it's to increase that. It helps the people that can't afford right now to put food on their table to live a decent life. It allows people that are, with the living wage, they can raise their families here. They can, buy a home here, and they can be part of our community. You can't really be, you can't afford to buy a home here. You can't, necessarily the car that you're living paycheck to paycheck with your minimum wage, and you're lucky to get by on it right now, especially if you have a family. And so to be an active part of our community, you need to have a wage that can support that.
Yeah, a wage that allows you to actually go out and spend on more than just the basic kind of stuff, as well as afford that basic stuff, which it really has risen a lot in the last 4 years or so to actually rent or buy a home. Even the price of groceries has gone up a lot. It
has, and really, I mean, you say that yes, the cost is going to go up, but if you have more people buying extra, even clothes or whatever, because they now can afford just the basics to send their kids to school. They have that money, and that money stays in our community. We have jobs here that can pay for our citizens to live in our community, and that helps our economy as a whole.
What other quality of life issues are there in Modesto that can be addressed apart from jobs and higher wages?
Well, the foreclosures issue is still an important issue on our community here. The vacant homes they're a hazard for the firefighters. They breed crime. When people move into them and live there illegally, and they bring down the cost of the resale value of all the homes in the neighborhood. And it's something that definitely it has a negative impact on our community, and it's something that we need to try and see what as a city we can come up with. If nothing else, just holding the banks responsible for the properties and making them provide proper upkeep and care. All of us as citizens are paying the police and the taxes to have those houses monitored, and it's costing us, our city, money, and I think we need to hold them accountable since it is their property.
Recently, the City Council voted to look into privatizing the waste management system in Modesto, and I was just wondering your thoughts on that whole line of thinking, turning towards privatizing municipal functions.
Well, it's kind of a nationwide issue. They're trying to privatize as much of the public they can, and to me, I don't understand the theory behind it. Stockton has tried to privatize their waste management. They had the contract with the $1 million buyout. The city's still responsible for any hazard, so it's our waste. We would privatize it to another company, and they would manage it. But if there's any, if it leaks out, if something happens, if there's a spill, they can file bankruptcy, and the city's still stuck with the problem. Stockton, after they privatized theirs, they had to buy out the contract and go through the whole process over again. It's a process of, we have the employees, they're public employees, so then we privatize that work. Their pension program, everything has to be privatized, and that costs a lot of money. So it's a lot of upfront cost to switch it over, plus the risks outweighs any kind of benefits that we can get from it.
There was a lot of quality issues too with the service in Stockton, from what I understand, when they privatized it as well.
Correct. Yeah, the quality definitely went downhill, and they don't have to safeguard it. They don't have the same measurements in place to protect the citizens as the public does.
Yeah, they're not as publicly accountable as, say, the city would be in that instance.
Correct. The city is definitely accountable to the people, and the private companies, they're accountable to no one. they have to be, follow the state guidelines. But if anything happens, if there's a spill that contaminates our water, they can just file bankruptcy and take their money and run, and they're not tied into the community. City, this is our city, and if our city is responsible for the waste management, then it's going to be taken care of, right?
All right, and finally, what do you think can be done to increase transparency in the Modesto city government?
There's certain issues as far as just in general, making sure that everything's out there. I'd like to see, the votes online, have everything, everything online, so that if anybody from their house can go on there and click on it. All the meetings are already online, but it's very time consuming, and I don't think very many citizens have the time to sit down and just go through that and stay informed. It'd be nice if we just had a website to just click and say, okay, this is the agendas, here's everything about it, here's how everybody voted, and kind of know where everybody stands, so we can hold the people account, the council members accountable. I personally am running as a candidate for the people, and we'll hold, I'll be open and available, so that if you need to contact me, if you want to hold me accountable for anything I do, I'm here to stand. I'll be for what I believe in, and I'll fight for you. And if you want to hold me accountable, I'll be here to answer your calls.
All right, you want to give your email address and all your campaign information out real quick?
Yeah, my email address is vote4esteves@gmail.com. That's VOTE 4 ESTEVES@gmail.com. And my phone number is 534-6471. If you have any questions about me or the campaign, I'd be happy to talk to you.
All right, I want to thank you for coming out and had a good interview. This is Chance happening for On Watch.